Greetings, one and all. Welcome back to NHL 19 franchise mode with your Winnipeg Jets. Yes, we are back here again to play through the second half of the 2020/2021 NHL season. Last episode, we of course played through the first half of the season, and the Winnipeg Jets currently have a record of 21 wins, 16 losses, and 4 overtime or shootout losses, which is good enough for 4th place in the Central Division. However, we are only 3 points back from 2nd place Minnesota, and we are 10 points above 5th place Colorado. So, hopefully, if we carry on the sort of more successful simulation that we had towards the end of last episode, we started to pick up our game a little bit towards the end of the last episode. If we can carry on that sort of pace, then we should be okay. The big problem that we've had with this team so far is we can't just say there's one player that's kind of underperformed so far this year. Every player's kind of underperformed so far this year. I think there's definitely a Stanley Cup hangover. They're really reeling from that long summer that they've had. But 32 points in 41 games for Patrik Laine is our best. Only 3 players on our roster have scored double-digit goals. Panarin's only 25 points in 41 games. He's really dropped in his numbers. Scheifele with only 28 points. I mean, the good thing is the goal scoring's been kind of spread out between everyone. Everybody scored at least everybody scored at least 1 goal on our roster except for Morrow, Darno and Vestik, who have all played either 2 or 3 games each. Not including Gabriel Carlson, every single player scored at least 2 goals this season. However, we kind of need more goal scoring. We don't need it to be evened out, we need it to be happening more and more and more. So in terms of the trade deadline, I'm not really sure what we're going to do there. If we just take a look at the team's contracts, for example, and take a look at how much salary cap we have, we've only got, we've got less than $1 million. We've got less than $750,000 of salary cap, so we're really up against the cap. So the only thing we'd be able to do is offload salary cap, which we don't really want to do because we're kind of going for that Stanley Cup run. Now, I will forgive this team for having a poor season if we make the playoffs. If we make the playoffs, then it's all forgotten. They can have their slightly underperforming season as long as we make the playoffs, because then we're still in the running to repeat as Stanley Cup champions. However, I won't be very happy if this team doesn't make the playoffs at the end of the season. We have the chance to do something incredibly special, repeat what the Pittsburgh Penguins did only a couple of seasons ago, with repeating Stanley Cup championships. So let's give it a go. So let's go up to the trade deadline and see where our team's at then, and see if we need to make any moves, offload any salary cap. And we start with an away game against the Tampa Bay Lightning, and hopefully we win. Good, a 3-2 win to start. Nick Patan's been injured, that's a pain in the ass. Away against Buffalo, a 5-3 win. Good, we've won... I should learn how to talk, shouldn't I? We've won our last 3 games, which is good. Away against Dallas, good, a 2-0 win. Away against New Jersey, a 4-3 loss. So we won 4 straight games. We've won 4 of our last 5. Okay, away against New Jersey, come on boys. Good, a 5-2 win. Home against Columbus, a 3-0 win. Good, home against Colorado, win this one, boys. Yeah, 3-1 win, good. Home against Ottawa, a 3-1 win. Oh, I love it, boys. This is perfect. Away against Minnesota, a 3-2 win. Going to San Jose. Can we get a win here? Come on. You know you want to give me a win here. We'll talk about the draft class later. A 6-1 win. We've hit 30 wins this season already. This is perfect. Greg Pattern. I don't really know if I need him off waivers. 76 overall. Nah, I'm good, thanks. Thanks for the offer, Minnesota, but I'm good. 30, 17 and 4 so far this season. We've won our last 5 games. Wow, that's pretty decent. Away against Ottawa, a 2-1 win. Home against Nashville, get this win. 4-3 loss. So we won, 6 straight games? Home against Edmonton, a 4-2 win. Good, we bounced back from that loss. Home against Nashville, a 3-2 win. We get revenge on them less than a week later. A home and home against Chicago. Away against Chicago to start. Can we get a win here? They're under 500. Dustin Byfuglien's been injured until February 18th. That's a pain. Away against Chicago, we take an overtime loss, then a loss. We get 1 of a possible 4 points. Oh, okay, so the Dallas Stars would like to offer us their 3rd and 4th round pick. Well, 3rd pick of this draft, 4th of next year's, in exchange for Sami Niku. We'll see how we do at the trade deadline with something like that. A 2-1 win against the Habs, good job. Another game against the Tampa Bay Lightning. They've had a good season, but we've played quite well against them. We managed to beat them last game, which was quite good. 34, 19 and 5 so far this season. Don't know what's taking the simulation so long, but here we are. Against Tampa. Come on, get a win. Get a win, Winnipeg. You know you want to. Go on. Go on, treat yourself. 3-0 shutout loss. Okay, fair enough. Against the San Jose Sharks. Mason Appleton's been injured until February 19th. The Winnipeg Jets 2nd and Valenti for a 3rd, and Brandon Manning. No thanks at the moment. against San Jose. 6-3 win. Good, good. And a couple of our players are back. Did I go replace players? I should have gone best line, shouldn't I? That would have been helpful. Here we go. We can do it now. Samuel Morin's been injured until March 4th. Got an away game against Nashville. Overtime win. Good, good. Oh, here we go. So the Detroit Red Wings want to offer us their 2nd and 3rd round pick from next year's draft, as well as Trevor Van Riemsdyk for Niku and a Thirst. No, thank you. No, thank you. Okay, home against Vancouver. 2-0 victory. Good. Home against Minnesota. Come on, boys. Nope, I don't really want John Merrill, thank you. Home against Minnesota. Come on, let's get a win. Let's get a win. Let's get a win. You know you'll want to, Winnipeg Jets. There you go. 5-3 victory. First rounder for a 2nd, a 3rd, and Witherspoon. No, thank you. Okay, we've got a home game against the Kings coming up. Dustin Byfuglien's out till March 12th. As long as he comes back for the playoffs, I'll be happy. 4th, a 5th, and Olofsson for a 3rd. No, thank you. Against Vegas, a 3... not Vegas, LA, sorry. A win. Oh, okay, so a 3rd, a 4th, and a 5th, and Olofsson for a 2nd. No, thank you. Home against Chicago, a 6-3 loss. Okay. So as we go to the trade deadline, we had a fantastic second half of the season so far. I'm really happy with this. 39 wins, 21 losses, and 5 overtime or shootout losses. That's a much better record. Our last 10 was 6-3-1. We are 2nd place in our division. Wow, by a noticeable margin as well. The Dallas Stars might take the Central Division again, but we are, 14 points up on Chicago? That's perfect. And Patrick Laine almost going a point per game now. He scored 30 goals this season. Thank you, Patrick Laine, for coming back and having a strong second half. Scheifele, 60 points. Panarin, 54 points. Connor, 39 points. Kyle Connor is a guy that hasn't really stepped... Oh, sorry, Nikolai Ehlers. 38 points in 63 games. Whether it's because we're playing him on the second line, he's just not really producing for us. He's the kind of guy that we could trade away if we wanted to. I'm not going to this season, but like in the off season, he could be a good guy to maybe consider because he's going to have a lot of trade value at an 88 overall. But he doesn't. He goes a point every 2 games. That's not really that good for an 88 overall player. Whereas you have like Panarin, Scheifele, and Laine, they're almost a point per game now. They had a rough start to the season. Like Kyle Connor has 1 more point than him this season. He's played 2 more games, to be fair. They've both got 30 assists. Duchesne only has 30 points so far this year. Wow, I'm not really that happy with that. Appleton, 25 points is pretty good. Roslovic, 21 points. So my 2 bottom 6 players are getting some good points going on here. All of our players have done a good job. Joe Morrow got 3 assists. All of our players have scored at least 2 goals if they played the majority of the season. But I'm glad that our players are starting to pick up their goal scoring pace. I'm really happy with that. So we're 2nd in our division. Where does that put us in the entire league? We are 4th place in the entire league. So we're still in the running for the President's Trophy, potentially. I don't think we'll win it, but we're in the running for it, which is pretty awesome. So, trade deadline. Do we really want to do anything? We could take a look at what teams are offering. There might be something interesting out there to bolster our team. I mean, we're kind of a strong team. We've had a very strong second half of the season. It looks like we're going to go into the playoffs as a hot team, which is something you really want. Most of the teams that win the playoffs go into the playoffs as a hot team. So, draft picks, draft picks, draft picks, draft picks, draft picks. Justin Falk. Justin Falk could be an interesting pickup for this team. Justin Falk, 86 overall at 28 years old. Dougie Hamilton, 86 overall at 27 years old. I don't know. I mean, we could go for one of those guys. Break up a little bit of the Carolina defense. I mean, we could go for one of those guys. I mean, they need $5 million a season, and we don't really have that. Brandon Saad. I don't really need help on the forward position. Ian Cole. Korpisalo's up on the trade block. How is Korpisalo doing then? As a goalie. What's his rating? He is 87. Wow. Sergei Bobrovsky's at a 93. Jesus. Korpisalo, roughly 87. I'd assume it'd be an 85. That would be a good pickup, but we don't really need him. Gibbons, Van Riemsdyk, Sekera, Vatanen. Sami Vatanen. What's Vatanen like? Skaters matching the block. Sami Vatanen, 82 overall. Yeah, I'm not really that in need of that. Bukestad, Yandel, Martinez, Bogosian, Phaneuf. Ryan Ellis, Matthias Ekholm. Those are some good guys. They're on the wrong side of 30 now. Ryan Johansson's on the trade. Wow, they've got basically their entire team on the trade. But well, it's understandable. They're going 25, 30, and 8. They're a rebuilding team. They've basically got a fire sale going on here. Adam McQuaid there as well. I mean, getting a guy like Justin Schultz would be good. How many years has he got left on his contract? 5 years. Nah, I'm not really that interested for that long. Green, Shara is still playing. Zdeno Chara is still in the league. Wow, at 43 years old, this has got to be his last year in the league. The fact that he's not with Boston anymore is quite shocking. Johnny Boychuk, Mark Stahl. There isn't really anybody that I can see that would make this team hugely better. Like, we're a pretty strong team as it is. We're 4th place in the league, for goodness sake. So you know what? No, I'm not going to make any trades. I don't think we need to. Let's instead go to the end of the season and see if we can win any silverware. So, let's do this. So, we start with an away game against Colorado. And we win 5-1. Good. Then we have an away game against St. Louis. Samuel Morin's back for the game. Wonderful. We get a 3-1 win against St. Louis. Second part of the home and home. Another 3-1 win. 6 goals. 6 goals scored. 2 goals against in those 2 games against St. Louis. We could hit 50 wins this season, which would be incredible. So, home against New Jersey, we take a 2-0 win. Wow, 2 goals allowed in the last 3 games. Whenever I say that, I usually jinx myself and we lose the next game. Let's find out. Dustin Byfuglien's out till March 27th. He came back, got injured again. Overtime loss against the Calgary Flames. Then we take a shootout loss against Vancouver. Away against the Anaheim Ducks. Tyler Myers is out till April 9th. Okay, he'll be just about back for the playoffs. 4-2 win against the Ducks. Home against the Sabres, we take a 2-1 loss, our first regulation loss of the month. Let's keep it that way. Carolina Hurricanes, overtime loss. We're getting some extra points here and there. Against Colorado, a shootout loss. Against St. Louis again. Can we get a win here? Maybe. Dustin Byfuglien's back. Don't get injured again. A 9-1 loss against the St. Louis Blues. They were upset about us taking those 4 points. 3-2 win against Carolina. 6-5 win against the Islanders. 46-23-9 so far. Away against Florida, a 5-2 win. Home against Arizona, a 6-4 loss. Home against Dallas, a 3-1 loss. And then away against Pittsburgh. Come on, let's go with a win. Let's go with a win, Pittsburgh. You know you want to, boys. Tyler Myers is back. Perfect. A 4-1 win against the Pittsburgh Penguins. So, at the end of the regular season, the Winnipeg Jets have finished with a record of 48 wins, 25 losses, and 9 overtime or shootout losses for 105 points in 82 games. We were 3 points down from Dallas. So once again, we can't clinch a divisional championship. However, as long as we can go into the playoffs and clinch the most important one, that's all that matters. So we were 3rd place in the league. The Tampa Bay Lightning with the President's Trophy, 53-23-6. Wow, that's crazy. So the Winnipeg Jets, we had a good season. We should have hit 50 wins, to be honest, but it was close. 79 points in 82 games for Patrick Laine. 38 goals, 41 assists. 78 points for Scheifele, 70 points for Panarin. Bit of a drop, but still decent numbers. Connor, 51 points. Nikolai Ehlers, only 49 points. Matt Duchene, only 35 points. Appleton had as many points as Matt Duchene did. Wow, that's pretty ridiculous. Brendan Lemieux had 26 points. Morrissey with 26 points. Byfuglien had only 18 goals, down from his almost 30 last year. He's in the final year of his contract. Let's win Big Buff another Stanley Cup before we have to try and maybe find another defenseman to take his place. So decent stats there. Can we take a look at the awards? Have they been announced there? Or are they for last season? They're still for last season. Okay, fair enough. Team awards. Oh yeah, what team awards do they have? Stanley Cup. Okay, player awards. Let's take a look at last season's ones. Yep. Okay, the Art Ross. So Art Ross, Hart Memorial. Did we win anything last year? The Lady Byng Memorial Trophy went to Panarin last year. I probably should have checked this last year, to be honest. But I didn't. So Panarin gets the Lady Byng. Yep, for the 1920-20 season. Kellerson with the Calder. Conn Smythe went to Hellebuck, of course. Vezina, Bobrovsky. Oh yeah, and the Ted Lindsay goes to Panarin as well last season. John Tavares won the Maurice Richard Trophy. So how does it look like for this season, though? Because I don't think we're going to win any silverware this year by the looks of it. If we go entire league, we want to do this one, don't we? Entire league. So, 99 points in 82 games for Steven Stamkos. No player hit 100 points this season. The most goals in the season goes to John Tavares again. Patrick Laine is in the top 10 for that. Who the hell is G. Kim? Glenn Kim, 20-year-old, had 70 points. Wow. Assists goes to Evgeny Kuznetsov, Jason Zucker, Alexander Wennberg. We didn't have anybody in the top 10. Scheifele was on the fringes of the top 10 by the looks of it. So I don't think we're going to win any silverware this season by the looks of it, unless we go to the playoffs and win the Stanley Cup. So let's simulate to the next day and see where we are at. Tyler Myers has recovered from his injury, which is very helpful. We look like we have a healthy team going into the playoffs. So we had 25 sellouts. We didn't boost our team chemistry. We got a little bit of extra money there. And once again, our first round playoffs is against the Chicago Blackhawks. So if history is anything to go by, this should be quite good for us, because we might actually win another Stanley Cup. So next episode, we will go through the 2021 NHL playoffs and see if the Winnipeg Jets can win their second consecutive Stanley Cup. So yes, I'm going to end this episode here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you have enjoyed. Please feel free to like, subscribe, share, or watch some of my other videos. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.